guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So just here really just to do a little bit more with our little, you know, whatever it is that we're going to be calling this thing that we've made, using our freebie background papers. So just sort of finishing off really some bits and bobs in it. When I left you last time, I was going to be stitching a sort of mini journal, so I have done that now. Let me just cut off these threads, because again, I don't mind some, but my gosh, these are just ridiculous. So I've just sort of trimmed them down. Now what I did was I just printed off the background pages onto copy paper and then backed them with one of the coffee dyed background pages. I think that was from my secret garden kit. So I mean, it looks coffee dyed, but it obviously hasn't been coffee dyed, so that's mixed in with these pieces which actually are coffee dyed. And then I've just included also a copy of some vintage letter and obviously that tracing paper, and then I just stitched it obviously all on the sewing machine. So it's just a simple sort of journal there, nothing you know, complicated or anything like that. And yeah, I mean, just a really simple one. So now what I'm going to do is just stuff the inside pockets with a couple of pieces. So again, I'm just going to use my architecture postcards, I think, and just pop some of those into the inside pockets. There's one. And as I say, these have all just been printed on. This is actually 200 GSM, so it's much thicker. It is noticeably thicker, you know, than the 160. I mean, I love using this really thick cardstock, but, and I know I've mentioned this before, sometimes my printer doesn't really like it. It's okay when printing the ephemera pieces, but if I try and print borderless, my printer often seems to, what would I describe it as? Like grab it through and do it borderless on all sides except for the grabbing end, in which it leaves about, I don't know, centimetre or two edge at that top. So yeah, it works okay for the ephemera type pieces, but not necessarily for the backgrounds. And I say not necessarily because it's not always the case. Sometimes it's happy to pull it through and sometimes it's not. I suspect it's something to do with like needing cleaning or something like that, but you know, who knows? I'm not obviously, you know, a printer sort of guru or anything, so who knows? Sometimes the printer just seems to have a mind of its own and just do what it fancies doing. Right, oops, get rid of all this stuff. So I'm just going to now ink around. Oh gosh, would you believe I still have not changed that flipping sponge? What is wrong with me? It's because, you know, when I stop videoing, I normally video right up to the, you know, my last minute type thing to go and then do the school run, say. So I stop videoing, I go and then obviously plug the iPad in, try and set it to upload, or you know, if I've got to join a couple of clips together, maybe do that and then leave it exporting the video. And so I then totally, obviously I'm then different mode and no longer necessarily up here crafting. So just, that's why I'm, you know, never remembering what I actually meant to do at the end of a video. But yeah, this is ridiculous and I should actually change that pad because it's just silly now. So this one of my vintage postcards, the little corner that's missing on the original that it's been taken from, but I think that's quite nice because that's, you know, that's obviously how these things get over time, isn't it? A bit dog-eared and, you know, not quite perfect. And I guess by then including those types of, you know, what essentially are then defects, that's what keeps it looking old and vintage, I suppose. So yeah, right. Okie dokie, so that's those. So we'll just take those, and I think I'll tuck them into the back like that, and then we'll put some bits in the front. Now, oops, I'm just going to glue this doily down because, as you can probably see, it's not sort of stuck down, and therefore it's just curling round a little bit, which I don't really like it doing that. So just pop that like that. And again, obviously you could finish that off with a bit of lace or something. Let's have a look. I don't know whether we definitely want to, but we could. You see, to me, I just think everything is always better. Better with lace, better with bling, better with everything. So it was kind of like a, you know, going to be a done deal, wasn't it? Once I tried it, the lace was going to be on there. So let's just pop that down here. Oops. Now, obviously, this is not the widest piece of lace, so I need to make sure that I've got enough to curl it round to the back. I mean, obviously, I could just trim it off, but we might as well have it going right the way, you know, across the spine. So that, and then just again straight down the back. Okay, looking good now. So we just take that, fold that over. Oops. Oops. Just make sure I haven't now moved it from where it was at the front. I don't think I have. Okay, and we just trim that down now. Like that. Okay. So that looks really pretty. And then obviously we just want to pop a couple of things obviously on this inside pocket. So whilst that's drying, let's just see what else that we've got that's just laying around on the desk here. What have I got laying around on the desk? I mean, to be honest, you name it, it's laying around on here, but it's whether it's, you know, the right thing. So I've got some of this, or actually I've got some of this one. So perhaps we'll just take this one. So what I might do is just cut this in half. And you can probably hear this has been printed onto, you know, the 160 GSM. So it's sort of thickish, but not too thick. And then I think what I'll do is just make a little fold out piece. Hopefully I haven't made this too wide for the cover. I probably have now. Let's just see. Oh no, it does. It does fit in there just about, so that's not so bad. I mean, we could make it into an envelope, but I think we'll keep it as a little fold out. So again, just ink up, especially sort of on those creases, and then on the, obviously, inside, like that. And obviously, because it's a fold out rather than an envelope, we'll just ink around the whole lot. Like that. Okay, and then I'll just do this crease here and then just round my corners off. Like that. And we've got some more of that gold doily, which we could have somewhere on here. Only a tiny bit, because obviously this is not, you know, not now a huge piece. Just going to ink that where it's got the white showing through, because we don't want it looking stark white. I didn't want it solid gold, but we don't want it stark white either, so we just ink around there. Pop that down like that, I think. So I'm just going to hold that closed, and then have have one of these pieces from the Vintage Botanical Russet pieces. Just trim that down. And oops, again, go across there. So again, I'll just ink this up so it's nice and, you know, inky, and then hopefully blending right in. So just like that. I'll just pop that on there, and I think we'll have that on there like a closure. So I'm just going to glue down the, you know, the doily piece first. So, and to be fair, now this doily's been painted gold, you know, it's not coffee dyed or anything, I probably could use the tacky glue. You know, probably wouldn't have a problem with those black marks. But I don't know about that, so we'll just go with it like this. So yeah, I'm just going to take that with me like that, so that I gauge roughly where that line needs to be. And we will just glue that piece down. Like that. Oops. And for some reason I now can't pick this up. Just what's wrong with me? I don't know why that happened, why I now can't pick that up, but right. Oh, who knows why some of these things happen, but for some reason I obviously just did something different to normal. I couldn't even tell you what, but yeah, lost my ability to then sort of pick that up. Right, there we go. So that looks really nice. And then I might just have a little bit of lace or something on there. So just decide where we want to have the lace, whether we want to just pop a bit more glue down there, because I feel like it's not really got glue close enough to that flap. So and then we'll just have that bit of lace. Now, do we just want a little bit? To be honest, I actually don't think it needs lace. I mean, that's a first, isn't it? That I actually think it doesn't need lace, but I really don't. It sort of looks quite pretty without, so I'm not going to actually put any lace on there. I have got, however, a little flower that might be nice. Yeah, so let's pop that flower on there. And this is just like a fabric flower trim. So we'll just put those there. I do get lots of people asking where I get these flowers from. Now, I always buy these from a shop here in the UK. It's actually a shop in the Lake District. It's an independent shop and they are not online. So yeah, I can't kind of tell you, you know, to go there, if you see what I mean. However, if you search for flower trims, fabric flower trims on eBay, or, you know, just, I don't know, just Google, I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to find some, if not these, something very, very similar. So, yeah, although I can't, I mean, I can tell you the shop's name, it's called Boys, but it's in the Lake District, and, you know, definitely last time I looked anyway, it didn't have an online presence. So, you know, by all means do have a look, but I'm pretty sure it kind of doesn't have one. So that's the journal, which looks really nice, and it's now kind of stuffed with some things in the pockets, which is really good too. Now, the other thing that I did while I was obviously at the sewing machine was I made a little flippy pad. Again, just utilising some of the other bits of paper that I didn't use in this, because I had to cut the papers down. Obviously I had the ends, so I didn't want to waste them. So I just literally created a little flippy pad there. You know, nothing too exciting or anything like that, I suppose. Just stitched along on the sewing machine. So again, what we could do is just finish that off with a bit of lace at the top, And obviously because this has been stitched and not stapled, I don't really feel it needs to have the lace going back and front. It, you know, it's quite nice having the stitches on the back. So I'm just going to pop the lace down there at the front like that, and then we're just going to trim that off. But what I'm going to do to make this look a little bit more exciting and in keeping with our, you know, blingy type piece, I guess, that we made, is I'm going to take this gold paint and, oops, now all I'm going to do is take a little scrap, she says. I was going to put a little bit on some paper or some card. Well, let's just use that. Because I'm trying to be a bit better than actually just dipping it into my hand, or, you know, smearing it onto my hand this time. And what I'm going to do is just like gild along the bottom of the page like that. So, you know, it's really got, I mean, it's like the tiniest little bit of gold edging, but it just looks really pretty. So I don't know whether I'm going to do it on every page. I might just do it on the odd one or two. But just to make it that little bit more sort of special, like that. And perhaps I'll do it on the last one. So just like that. It just, you know, keeps the theme going, I think, and you know, just makes it a bit more interesting, I guess. If when you're looking through, I will just do one or two more pages actually, because I do really like it. So yeah, I will just pop a bit more on. Well, perhaps I'll just do every page, to be honest. We'll just do every page after all. So I wasn't intending on doing every page, but we might as well. So just go across there like that, all the way. That's the page we've already done. So we'll just do this one now. I mean, this one, as you can see, I mean, this is very scrappy. It was, you know, got quite torn quite badly when I was doing the coffee dyeing. So yeah, this is not in the best shape, this particular page, but you know, that's fine. I might just have to add a little bit more to the front page because maybe it's not visible enough on that page. There we go. Right, oh my gosh. Wow, that was just so lucky. Did you see what happened? Like nearly went in that gold paint. Right, so that's that piece, which again just is now finished off really pretty. And then I would just pop a little bit of bling up there. In fact, I might use the sequin on there. That's really nice. So again, let me just, I'm just going to cut this little bit off. And then we'll just pop a bit of glue along where we're going to pop these down. Okay, there we go. So we just pop that down there like that, and I'll just trim that down at the edge. Oh, that looks so pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, I love that. Okay, so that's another piece done. So excuse my throat. I'm just going to keep these pieces to one side for a minute. And then, oops, we did this piece last time and this piece. So actually we'll just keep those to one side as well. And then I'm just having a look at this one, you know. What we didn't do, we didn't put some gold around the edge of here. So actually, whilst I've got that there, just going to add a bit of sort of gilding to the edge of that too. That's really nice. Just a tiny bit, just to, you know, tie it in. Right, so that's that one. What I'm going to do now, I've got these couple of bits, which I have obviously, you know, they're ready-made pieces, but they're using the background pages. So I thought, again, just perfect, because they're going to obviously go perfectly with our, you know, with our whole kit. So I'm just going to ink around these. I love this one with the sheet music with those pages. It looks really, really, really nice. So we just ink around there. So I hope if you've downloaded the pages, I hope that you're really liking them and, you know, having some fun with them. I don't know whether you might be making something similar to what we're making here, but I hope you're having a nice time and enjoying them. That's that one. I'm just going to now do this here. Again, trying to be a little bit efficient and do like the inking together at the same time, rather than, you know, muck about doing one and then doing the next one. So there we go. Right. And then let's see what we want to decorate these up with. Let me just reach behind me where I've got some more of those pieces from that botanical russet. Now, unfortunately, these have been printed on white, which obviously, you know, look a bit different to the ivory. But obviously I've now run out of the ivory here. So rather than go and print off a load more, which I'd have to stop the video again, I'm just going to just go with what I've got here, I think. So actually, just before I do that, I have got a couple of bits ready cut out from the ivory still. So let me just pull those in and just see whether, you know, we might be able to use those. So, okay, right. Okie dokie. So we've got these little bits here, just like little sort of labels, really. Then we could have that up there, maybe. And actually, we could have that one there. I mean, that's really good because that just uses those up. And, you know, they are actually the right colour then. So let me just tear a bit of the gold doily out. And again, we might just have a little bit here. Because obviously, you know, it's nice to have it looking similar to the other pieces. So they look really good. So let's just ink this one up first. Like that. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a nice day and everything, and you know, doing some nice projects. Nothing like you know, a nice bit of crafting to, you know, cheer up a dull day. So it's the weirdest day here. This morning it poured down like the heaviest rain. It was just like, well, literally as if someone had got a bucket and just, you know, poured it out. And then it's actually now like really sunny. It is really windy, but it's really sunny. It's just like the most bizarre sort of weather, you know, like every time you look out you think, oh, it's changed again. Now I might stick this one on as a little pocket. I might actually forget that that is a pocket, to be honest, by the time that I come to use it, but we'll just pop that on like that. And then this one here, again, we'll just ink this up like that, and we're going to have that just popped up there. Which, do we want some lace trim or anything on there? Hold on. What I'm actually thinking would be quite nice is to have it on that tracing paper like we did recently, but now I can't remember what I did with the tracing paper, so that's a little bit annoying. But what I have just spotted when I went to look for the tracing paper beside me is I just spotted a couple of ready-made stamped pieces that I had. They're just like in a little packet beside me. I think these might even have been things that I took when we went on holiday, and they're just still, you know, still in the little packet. But I mean, as you know, I love the craft coloured card. I just think it looks incredible every time you put it down. I just absolutely love it. So yeah, let's just see what we've got in here. Okay, so I've pulled out a couple of things from there. Let's just have a look before we commit to any of these other pieces. So good. I mean, that looks really nice on there, doesn't it? The only thing is it does cover up that butterfly, which is a bit of a shame. But I guess if we were to put some lace or something at the bottom, that wouldn't really be so apparent anyway, that it ever was a butterfly. So perhaps we'll do that. I think we'll do that. So yeah, this is just a piece from my symphony orchestra kit, actually, and it was obviously just floating in that packet, you know, and it's obviously been in there for absolutely ages, but I absolutely love that image. Just really do love those two such pretty girls, and it's just gorgeous. I really, really love it. This one in particular, she's just got the prettiest face, and just she's got this lovely look about her. She just looks lovely. So yeah, it's nice to be able to use that. Okay, and then we're going to just pop that down on there like that. So just pop that down like that. Oh, they just look so pretty on there. And, you know, to be honest, who'd have thought that we would put that on those papers? But actually, it looks really lovely. So, yeah, liking that. Then I'm going to pop this up here, which I guess maybe is a little bit weird because it says greenhouse and we've got those girls down there, but that's fine. Maybe they're on their way to the greenhouse, who knows. So we'll just pop those on there, or that on there. Okay, and then do we want any of the sequin trim anywhere here? Oh yeah, that's nice, isn't it, at the bottom? Wasn't actually planning on having that, but it does look nice. I'm going to just have that along the bottom there. Wouldn't it be fantastic if I actually managed to use up the whole of this sequin trim and it was a whole thing gone from my stash? I mean, obviously, not that that would make any difference to the state of my room. You know, it's not like that would suddenly free up a shelf or, you know, clear any space on the desk. But, you know, psychologically, I'd know that I'd used up an entire piece, which would be great. I'm just going to stick this lace down because it obviously wasn't stitched down, you know, across that header. So obviously now it's got the sequin on it. It's a little bit heavy, so it's sort of pulling up, if that makes sense. Ooh, it's sticking on my finger. Now I've got a sequin stuck on my finger. Right. Ah, that looks really nice. Yeah, I love that. Now again, this is another one of those big pockets, which hopefully I've done my tutorial already. Again, obviously because of my uploads, I don't know whether I have or I haven't, but if I haven't, the tutorial is coming. But because it's one of those big pockets again, what I might be able to do is, just like we did with the other really huge pocket, is back it with some of that paper bag. So I'm just fiddling around now with that paper bag. Oops. So again, we'll just take that and we'll just see. Okay, so let me just cut this down so that it's not quite so cumbersome to work with. So we'll just chop that down. Now obviously there is that hole which I was going to say, can I get around it? I don't think I can. That hole's going to be there, you know, whichever way I stick that. So I think what I'll do is, let me trim this bottom part off as straight as I can. And I'm not saying that that's, you know, straight necessarily, but straighter. Like that. And then what we'll do, we'll just pop this down like that. So I'm just going to glue around the entire pocket. So the entire back. And then again, you see this can then be like a floating pocket with plenty of room for journaling on the back of it. But equally, you know, if you wanted to stick it in, I mean, it's just paper bag. It's not made it so bulky that you couldn't then glue it into a journal. So you could use it either or, really. Giving you options, I think, by doing this. So there we go. Plenty of glue. And then we'll just take that, just pop that down like that. Just want to slide that up a little bit. Okay. I'll just take my spreader, otherwise known as my reward card. Okay. And then I'm just going to trim around the edge. Like that. And then up this edge here, like that. Okie dokie. And then to cover up, obviously, where we've got that hole, all I'm going to do, I'm going to just ink this up actually first. To just make it look a little bit more interesting. And then all I'm going to do is take my really nice crafty individual script and then just turning this up upside down so it's sort of easier to work with. Just going to randomly, but very lightly, so as you could still journal, you know, it's not kind of covered up the page so as it's dark and you wouldn't be able to journal over there. It's very light and, you know, pale. And then I'm just going to take one of my browner labels, so maybe this one, like that, and then, oops, just chop that down there, okie dokie, and I'm just going to pop that on there. And then that just covers up that hole, also makes it, you know, a bit more interesting to look at. So it's a sort of win-win situation there. So we'll just ink around, not ink around, sorry, glue around there, like that. Okie dokie. So that's that piece. And that's obviously the front there. I'm just checking whether we wanted anything else. So what we could do is obviously, just got a little bit more of that gold glue, gold paint still beside me, so I'm just going to literally go round a little bit there, and maybe just like here a bit, like that. Again, just for that continuity really. And then all I'm going to do then, because if you recall, we just made this as a little pocket. So I'm going to take one of the smaller labels, like that, that we can then tuck into that pocket as a sort of tag really. So that's one. So again, just ink that up. I mean, these have been printed on ivory, so, you know, it's not so stark white on the back. So I'm just going to pop that in there, like a little piece sticking out of that pocket. And then it's annoying that I've only got these now printed off in white, but as I say, I mean, I don't really want to kind of go and have to now print off more and stop the video, because I've got to go out in a moment, so I'm going to have to stop the video in about literally 5 minutes anyway. So all I'm going to do is obviously pop these into the pockets. So we'll have this one, and actually I'm not going to have that one, I'm going to have this one. The reason being, this has got that fancy sort of frame at the top, which I just think it goes really nicely with the, you know, the theme going on this particular pocket. So we're just going to chop that down, and obviously I'm going to now ink this up and try and disguise the white so as it looks a bit more in keeping and a bit less, you know, strange and out of place. So we'll just ink that up quite a bit. So not too bad now. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So just ink around at the back. I'm just going to go over it now with that vintage photo, which, as I say, I mean, it's quite dried out, so it's not brilliant, but it's okay. Just go over the back of there as well. Okay, so we'll pop that one in there, and then just want to put something in the top. So again, let me just reach behind me, and I've got some more of my little just architecture photographs there. So actually I'll take 2 of those, and we'll just again ink around those. They again, actually that one's been printed on white. I was going to say they've both been printed on ivory, but no, one on ivory and one on white, but that's fine. So I'll just ink that up. Okie dokie. So we've got that one. Oops. Just pop that in there. And then this one, which we'll just then pop in with that, I think. Or I guess we could pop it in there. Okay. So looking really pretty. So that's another little ephemera piece, obviously, to pop into our, you know, pouchy, pockety thing that we have been making. So, whoops. Sorry, just dropping everything down now. So yeah, I hope that you like the pieces that we've made today, and as you can see, I mean, it's really coming together. We've got quite a lot of bits and bobs now, you know, to go into our ephemera folio envelopey, stuffed envelopey thing that we have been making. So I hope that you've enjoyed what we've done so far. I don't know whether I will come back and do any more, or whether actually, you know, that will be it, but you know, again, I hope it's just given you some ideas of things that you can be doing with your freebie background papers. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks then. Bye.